Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're getting started today with our Friday review. Always love being here with you for these Friday shows where anything goes. We'll be bringing you updates from the global health community, me finishing up on my own private functional medicine liver detox, going through the motions, of course, with our intermittent fasting. We'll be talking about that, bringing you 2 research studies, as always, that I think that you need to listen to, hear, and really pass on to anyone in need. I've got a couple books that I'll be recommending to you this week, and a product review, one of my favorite products that I really learned about just, let's say, 6 months ago or so, from Dr. Jay Wiles, who hopefully you tuned into the show. I believe he was our big guest of the week just yesterday on the show, episode 1693. If you didn't tune into that, listen to Dr. Jay Wiles at episode 1693 by just going to stephencabral.com/podcasts or typing in direct stephencabral.com/1693. He was our special guest of the week on Conversations with Cabral. On this Monday show, we went over what are you willing not to do. Again, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. If you are someone that sets goals for yourself, that wants to set goals, this is one of those shortcuts that you absolutely need to hear about. That was episode 1690. 1691 was on one of the most overlooked health issues out there, especially for people dealing with anxiety and mood disorders or learning disability in children, etc. So definitely check that out. It's called pyroluria. I go in depth. 1 out of 10 people or more has this. And anyone with a mental health based, let's just call it imbalance, because that's really what it is, that has an imbalance needs to be looking at this. And that's because over 1/3 of all people, 30 to 40% plus, who had some type of mental health based imbalance was suffering from this. And it's not a difficult answer. I mean, it's really not. So please go check this out. Early research happened in the 1950s, and we know so much more about it today. So please check that out and pass it on as well. 2 days ago on our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday show, episode 1692, we went over the new miracle sweetener. And I put new in quotations because it's been around for about a half a decade. But allulose, if you haven't heard about allulose and its almost 0 calorie potential, check that out. It was a show on the pros and cons of that, if I recommend it or don't recommend it, and what the science says. So check that out. Of course, I talked about Dr. J yesterday on episode 1693. He's my personal HRV coach. I call him Dr. J, which I think I'm hilarious doing that when I'm sure everybody in the world calls him Dr. J. And probably you'd have to be old enough to even know who Dr. J is. Although I wasn't, I guess, even old enough to watch Dr. J play basketball, I certainly know who Dr. J is. All right, and today is episode 1694. So if you want all the links, all of the books I'm talking about, the research, all of that, just head on over to stephencabral.com/1694. We make it super simple. You get the show intro, you get the podcast that you can just press play on. If we feel there's other pertinent podcasts, we embed those as well. And then you get the links to all the things that I talk about. That's it. I mean, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What I want to do, though, before we get into all the things that I'm going to be reviewing, is talk about what's gone on over the past week. So I finished up technically Monday morning, but really the last meal is Sunday night, my quarterly functional medicine detox. So every single 12 weeks I do one. It's the number one thing that I do for my health. If I didn't do anything else, I would just do this. I mean, that's really what I tell people. If you don't do anything else, just do one every 12 weeks. It's a system, whole body reset every quarter. Do it with the seasons. If you're in Australia, I know that you're moving from winter to spring. I believe you're moving from winter to spring. Yes, you are. And that's okay because every season we do one, right? So our September is essentially your March. Again, that's all good. So the Southern Hemisphere, that's how we do it. So here, though, and especially New England where I live, there's a definite change in the weather. So I get the real 4 seasons up north where I am, and as a Bostonian and born and raised and always have lived here. is we really feel it. Like right at the end of August, beginning of September, you feel that kind of cool breeze moving in, although as I recorded today, it's pretty hot out. And it's really great. But you want to understand is that this isn't new. For over 5,000 years in Ayurveda, they've always done a seasonal-based panchakama or seasonal-based detox. And it was a time for fasting and it was a time for removing accumulation. And this is before the 77,000 plus man-made chemicals. So it's just so important. I can't stress it enough. And here's the thing. This is completely free. Learn about what a functional medicine detox is, especially all the medical doctors out there who are saying functional medicine detox are a scam and all that. If anybody ever says that, it's just, I don't have a problem with it. Honestly, it doesn't hurt me at all. It doesn't hurt me at all. I was using this well before I even formulated one. I was using my private practice because of the results I saw. So here's the thing. If you say that, that means then you don't look at the research. And if you say that, then that means it's kind of showing your ignorance. I mean, it really is. I never am condescending. I never come down on anyone. But if you don't understand the benefits of a functional medicine detox and you think that your liver and kidneys are just doing everything they need on their own, that's not what the science says. So if you consider yourself a medical doctor of science, then look at the research. Look what adding in this does for ramping up your liver detoxification. And again, you have to understand how the liver even works in the first place. Because if you don't know how the liver works in the first place, and phase 1 and phase 2 detox, which I'm guaranteeing you, if you ask your typical PCP, hey, could you tell me how phase 1 and phase 2 detox works? They're going to have no idea. And then if you ask, well, what about the third phase of detox? They're going to have no idea. And again, that doesn't make them bad. It just means that this is not their realm of knowledge. And that's totally fine. You go to your medical doctor to ensure that you don't have any disease. Like that's the important thing. You don't have a diagnosed disease. And you go to the best of the best out there in the emergency room, and hopefully this never happens because they're the best of the best. And they work with acute-based disease or trauma or an accident. But again, if you're working on chronic conditions, please save yourself the headaches. Go to find someone that is able to help you with the underlying root cause imbalances. Find an integrative health practitioner in your local area. You can go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, just go to the practitioners tab, and you will see people all over the world who are skilled in taking you through the de-stress protocol. Many of them can even do at-home labs for you if they're a level 2. So this exists. I mean, this is out there. It's just so important that people know about it. It really is. It's so important. And again, but naturopathic doctors are able to do this. Not all functional medicine doctors, because that's kind of a catch-all phrase now. But you'll be able to find people that can help you with this. I mean, really can. You're welcome to work with our healthy coaching team or our health coaching team at equilibriumnutrition.com as well. Totally, whatever works for you. Just know that it's out there. All right. So finish my detox. I really needed it. I really feel that way. I feel I need it most in first week of April, end of March, and kind of moving into that spring season. And then after the summer season, I definitely eat a little bit more liberally, I would say, because I have people up every weekend. We're enjoying ourselves. I eat much more liberally than I typically would, especially Labor Day weekend. So again, I love doing my detox, and it just clean slate good. Now we're on track for the next season. So that's how I use it. If you don't know about it, that's how this rant started. Literally, it's a free course. Go to equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. It's 100% free. It's all free. You don't have to buy anything. It just teaches you why this is so important. And then again, you can just choose the brand that you feel works for you. We'll try to link that up today. Go to, well, I don't know if we can. FDA regulations are crazy. We probably can't. So just go to equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. All right. Next, this is the very first announcement. You're here first that October, big things are coming. Big things are coming for my personal brand. I don't even like using that word. It sounds strange. But my personal teaching. Things are going to start to light up in a good way. I'm excited about this. I've been excited about this for many years. Things take me a lot longer than people would think to actually get out there. I like to make sure that I let it mull around in the mind for a bit. I like to say, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what people want from me? Is this the best use of my time? Is this the greatest good of my purpose? And does it mesh with my passion? And like all of these different things. And if the answer is yes, I don't act on it right away. And if it keeps coming back over and over, then I know that I need to do it. And I know that I need to do this. So I'm less and less in private practice. Of course, I oversee now a massive team, which is great. I oversee our teaching at the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, which is great. But really what I'm dedicating myself now to is if someone asks me a question on a real health imbalance, real health topic, I want to be able to provide them with an in-depth look at it, how I look at it, what the underlying root causes are, and then how to go about returning their body back to balance. So this is going to happen. If the stars align, this is a big project. I hired a whole new team, an amazing, amazing team to be able to put all this together. Because remember, I am more just the voice. I do the teaching, I formulate the products and protocols, I choose the specific labs we partner with. But I have an amazing team of probably around 50 people now that make all of this happen in the background. So they deserve a ton of credit. I can't name all 50 people. Not that I couldn't. I could, but it would take a while. So what I want to share with you is this. This is going to be a game changer for our industry. It's going to start in October, and it's going to roll through the rest of the year, right through the end of January. And I cannot wait to be able to share more with you. Let's call it the October Next Level Learning Project. It's going to be all about taking your knowledge right now to that next level. That's what it is. So, okay, you know about your thyroid, good. What if you were able to, in just a couple hours, download a decade, 2 decades worth of thyroid information, assimilate a couple dozen books, and know exactly what to do, right? To rebalance a healthy level of thyroid. That is what we're going to bring to you. So I'm super excited for this. I really am. It is the next chapter. We're rolling it out in October, and it will really come to fruition fully in 2021, and you're going to see big changes. We want to be on the leading edge. We want to be on the leading edge for you. That's our plan. That's what we're going to do. And I'm excited because, again, I look at myself as a teacher. I love teaching, and this is going to give me more of an opportunity to do so. So thank you. Stick around. It's happening in October. I'll bring you more information. All right. So first things first today, we're going to go over our product review. I've got so many research docs on my desk right here. I'm going to pick a couple for you for today. But first things first, this is wild that I don't have it with me today. It's such a rare occasion that I am not wearing this device. It is actually charging. It's the worst timing ever. And I want to apologize to the company that I'm about to promote. Not that they sent me this for free. I purchased it with my own money. But it's called the Lief HRV Device. You probably heard myself and Dr. Jay Wiles mention it on yesterday's show. Definitely tune into that interview. Now, Dr. Jay was the person who introduced this to me. So here's the deal with it. I don't have it today, but it literally looks like this. I folded a piece of paper. The device is actually white. It has 2 suction cups in the back. You put it against your bare chest, right below the left side of the chest, right below those pectoral muscles, right below the valves of the heart. And what is it doing? Well, here's what it does. I'm going to break this down to you in a nutshell. It's tracking your heart rate variability. If you don't know what heart rate variability is, I'm going to do an additional show, kind of a shorter show than we did yesterday, but you need to tune in. Heart rate variability is the biggest giveaway of how strong your body is in terms of resilience to stress. It's the best. That is it. I mean, yes, you can look at AM temperature. Yes, you can look at resting heart rate. A lot of those things, those are great. Look at heart rate variability. It will tell you how resilient your body is to stress. It's amazing. So this device looks at real-time, second to second, heart rate variability and your beats per minute. So your heart rates basically, right? So when you open the app, it will say, okay, heart rate of 56, HRV of 62, right? Like it will just show you real-time what's going on. And it's this big. You don't feel it. It stays suctioned to your chest. That's it, right below it. You don't feel a thing. It's medical grade. It is predominantly used with sports performance specialists. Dr. Jay's a psychologist, with people that do biofeedback for a living, like these types of things. Because your practitioner actually gets to see your data on their end if you decide to share it with them. If you don't want to share it, it's okay. You can use this for individual use. Why am I talking about this today? Because it's becoming more mainstream. Lief Therapeutics, I wish, and I hope one day, maybe if Lief Therapeutics, if you're listening to this, I would love to be able to partner with you. I know that I could give you great feedback. I know I'd be able to help you improve this device. I know I'd be able to help promote this to more people. Here's the thing. there are some things that we want to improve with it. Well, let's just a couple things. One is if you sweat a lot during exercise, it is going to fall off. That's just part of it, right? Because it's just this medical grade gel. Now, there's another device that's a polar heart rate strap monitor, but then you need to wear a strap around your chest all day, and that kind of slides down. You need to pull it back up. So that's not ideal. The Lief device is the very best. There's not even a close second. The very best real-time HRV device out there. You see that I'm wearing an Oura ring. This is amazing for overnight use. I don't wear my Lief device overnight because it has a haptic sensor. It basically will vibrate if your HRV drops too low. Basically, there's a standard deviation of when it begins to vibrate. So if it drops below X number of beats for your heart rate variability, it will start to vibrate so that you can actually figure out what things are most stressful in life. We'll put it this way. I found it amazingly beneficial. I realized for the very first time the things that cause my body the most stress, and it all had to do around not getting enough oxygen into my body. It's just pretty amazing. Oxygen at a tissue-based level. So anything bent over, naturally it's going to lower during exercise, interval-based exercise especially. I noticed it with, believe it or not, eating, because I wasn't getting enough oxygen in. So I realized that my body actually needs some fine-tuning in terms of getting more oxygen into the cells, into the tissues. It has plenty in the bloodstream, not enough in the actual tissues. So now this gives me something clear that I can work on, and I love new goals to work on things. So it's a great device. If anybody wants the number one device for tracking real-time heart rate variability, looking at what causes you the most stress, looking at real-time heart rate, but also biofeedback. There's not a better device at training biofeedback because you can actually look at the app on your phone. You can do 3 minutes, 3 times a day, which is completely free with the device. You can always upgrade it for more if you want. And I think the device is around $300. It's $250 to $300, I believe. So maybe Lief will give us a discount for our listeners. I hope that they do. If they do, then we're going to link it up at stephencabral.com/1694. Head on over to stephencabral.com/1694. We'll reach out to them. We'll see if they can give you a discount. Maybe they'll give you 10% off or something like that. But check it out over there. And if it's there, we'll give you the code. Again, I'm not going to go on and on about it. It is the number one heart rate variability device out there right now. Maybe one will get even better in the future, but this is it right now. If you want to see your resilience to stress and how you can improve it over time by listening to yesterday's interview with Dr. J, check that out. All right. Next up, I want to bring you 2 books today. These are blasts from the past. So every once in a while, not every once in a while, at least once a week, I look at my bookshelf and I let my eyes wander. And whatever fortuitous book that it stops on, that is a book that I review for the week. And I typically review a couple books a week. So besides reading new books, I like to spend about 10 minutes reviewing a previous book. So today, I'm bringing you 2 blasts from the past, and maybe I'll do this in the future as well. The first one is this. It's called What's Eating Your Child? So if you're seeing this book cover, it's by Kelly Dorfman. Maybe you're watching the video now that this is on video as well. This was written back in 2011, I believe, and I must have read this fairly shortly thereafter, maybe 2012 or so. It's been a long time since I read this book. But, okay, this is a good book for the beginner to intermediate in their health-based knowledge. That means that if you're a parent and you don't really know how mercury or fluoride or gluten or cow's milk or any of those things, if you don't know how those are affecting your child's ear, nose, and throat, their ADD, their ADHD, their anxiety, their sleep, their lack of omega-3s, if that's kind of you, then this is a good book for you. This is, again, it doesn't matter if this was written in 1990 or 2011 or 2020. If the information's valid, the information's valid. So, okay, it's called What's Eating Your Child? The Hidden Connections Between Food and Childhood Ailments, Anxiety, Recurrent Ear Infections, Stomach Aches, Picky Eaters, Rashes, ADHD, and more. And what every parent can do about it. So, I try to tell this to people all the time. Some people are more open to it than others. But the thing is this. If your child's dealing with adenoid issues, tonsil issues, learning issues, skin rashes, and I would say ear infections. So ear infections, tonsils, adenoids, skin rashes, learning-based issues, developmental delays in terms of speech. If you're still feeding them processed food, meat glue, hopefully you tuned into that show, and cow's milk dairy, I really believe that I know it's easier. I understand it. Like parents are busy. They're in a rush. I get it. I'm not coming down on you. I understand it. But most of the time, we're just not aware. But if you did a food sensitivity test for your child, which you can find at equilibriumnutrition.com or working with your local natural health practitioner, or you read a book like this, you begin to see the connection. And it's never one time. It just adds up. It really fills up that rain barrel. And so I just wanted to say that, said my piece, and maybe it will help some people out there. All right. The second book is this. A lot of people ask me, because I always tell people, you can't do Ayurvedic body type quizzes unless you separate out the body from the mind. Because if I did a body type quiz, I am a almost 100% Pitta mindset. That is my mindset. I don't have a Pitta body type, but I am a Pitta mindset. So I would confuse myself with actually being a Pitta. And then I would start to eat Pitta foods, Pitta pacifying foods, and I would start to do all these different things, which are not correct. Those things are correct for the mind, but not the body, right? That's what I'm trying to teach through this new style of Ayurveda. That, again, I learned from my mentors and overseas. Dr. David Frowley is a great practitioner, one of the first big Ayurvedic practitioners in the United States. And this book is called Ayurveda in the Mind, The Healing of Consciousness. If you're someone who wants to learn about the mental side of Ayurvedic medicine, then this is a good intermediate book for you. It's not basic, it's not simple, it's intermediate. You should have a little bit of knowledge already to it. If you don't have a knowledge already of Ayurveda, please go back to stephencabral.com/podcast. Just click on the Ayurveda graphic at the top, and you can listen to those Ayurvedic shows. So 2 blasts from the past. I mean, this book's older. Yeah. This book is 1997. I read this probably in the mid-2000s, let's say 2005, 2006, before I met my mentor. And anyway, it's a good book. And Ayurveda, it's 6,000 years old, so it's not really like it can be out of date. Okay, those are 2 blasts from the past books. Hope that you enjoy them. 2 research studies to bring you today. The first one is this. And I will be bringing you, I think it's next week. Let's see if it is. It is next week. I'll be bringing you a new air filter recommendation next week. So please do stay tuned for that. New air filter recommendation next week. Okay, this is this. This is the research of the week. Inexpensive HEPA air filter may reduce your risk for heart attack. Pretty impressive. Let's see what it says. Dr. Morishita, when studied subjects, average age of 67, used commercially available portable HEPA filtration units. At home, they experienced a small but significant decrease in blood pressure, which, if maintained long-term, could be enough to decrease cardiovascular events by 16%. I mean, if you're someone with a family history of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, etc., you want every different measure that you can take. I mean, it's pretty great. HEPA filters remove fine particulate matter pollution from the air in the homes, and this was actually published in JAMA Internal Medicine. I will link it up today. Just head on over to stephencabral.com/1694. You know, I'm a huge advocate anyway of good, proper air filters. And the reason is that you want to make sure that, again, America and the UK, average 52% of all homes have mold spores in them. You've got environmental toxicities, cars going by, smog, etc. A great thing just to have. So I'm a huge advocate, of course, of HEPA filters and good air units, good filtration units. It's one of those investments you make, and you won't have to replace it for 10 years, 15 years. You just replace the filters. So they do last a long time. I just bought another new one. You know, I had my IQ Air that I've talked about before. So check out IQ Air if you want to see like the top of the line. I'm just replacing my filters on that. And I run that every day, and that's been probably 7-8 months. And I have a new filter that because that's in my office, the new filter that I got actually just purchased to replace my Allen filter. And this was a step up. That Allen filter is a good 15 years old. I've just replaced the filters. That's it. So anyway, stay tuned. Next week, I'll be talking about that. All right. Last research of the week, last research study, also on blood pressure. Love this because it's one of my favorite teas as well. I don't think I gave it to you. I didn't see that I already wrote this one down. But it says this: drinking hibiscus tea works as well as some blood pressure medications. Hibiscus tea works as well as some blood pressure medications. Now, I'm not telling you to come off your blood pressure medication. What I'm saying is there are many things that we can do naturally, but you still want to find the root cause. A lack of hibiscus is not the root cause of high blood pressure, but great to use. This is the finding. People with pre-hypertension or mild hypertension, that means low, but basically they have high blood pressure, but on the lower side, who drank 3 cups of hibiscus tea a day for 6 weeks had a 7.2 drop in their systolic blood pressure. That's the number on the top. So basically, high blood pressure is over 135 over 80, or 85. So when we look at that, the top number would go from 135 to about 127 or so. So that's pretty good, right? So that's already just doing that. Again, I've showed you studies on fiber in the diet and oatmeal and all these different great things, potassium, magnesium. Anyway, that was compared to even the placebo as well. So that's pretty impressive. So I'm going to link this up for you, but all the antioxidants, anthocyanins, the flavones, the flavonols, the phenolic acids, all of those things that make up these powerful plant-based foods are what we need to get more of in our body. I'm a huge advocate. I love hibiscus tea. It's I do it sometimes mid-afternoon or after dinner, a hot hibiscus tea after a meal, and then sometimes in the summer, I'll mix a little bit of like a Pellegrino water or Gerolsteiner, any of those waters with some hibiscus tea. It's absolutely fantastic. So anyway, I will link that up for you. That was at Tufts University of Health and Nutrition newsletter, and I'll bring that to you at stephencabral.com/1694 if you want to get into the research further. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I appreciate you. As always, if the show was helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else you believe it could serve. And make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for our weekend house calls. Take care, everyone. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.